Good morning, and what a morning it is. Just heading out on probably one of my favourite long runs around about here. So retail park, Starbucks. We're heading to Châtellerault, so it's about 8k in total. Nice zone 2, should be somewhere in the region of 45 to 50 minutes. So we head through the bushes here, so another bloody belter of a day, so hence why this run. So it is 9:30, we get this in first, and then we're headed to the gym, do some work, coaching tonight, and then we're going to do a class at 6 o'clock, which is some rowing, burpees, and then some plyometric stuff. So long run this morning, speed work this afternoon. Let's get this started. Châtellerault House. It's not a castle, is it? Yeah, here we are. 4.5 in, 22 minutes. It's a pretty decent pace actually, but feels comfortable. A few obstacles on the way, a couple of trees to get over there, but this run is just beautiful. Down by the river, through the houses, and then you get this view at the end, and what a morning for it. So yeah, 22 minutes in, that should be perfect, about 45-50 minutes before you make our way back. One day we will do the doubler, which is the retail park to here, then the entire trail run, which is an extra 7k, and then bring it on back and head back for about 15-16k. But that is not today. Right, let's go back on it. Alright, best part about running down here is the post-run Starbucks. Alright guys, mission accomplished, coffee secured, and it's only 10:30. My only regret is that we didn't do that earlier, right? Because now, feeling good, feeling fresh, first workout of the day done, gonna go and have a super productive day. But if we'd done this at say 6 AM, if it was a day like this, we'd have even more time to be productive. Anyway, run stats, 8.9 kilometers total time 47, average pace 5:22, and that was with the break at the top, as you've seen at the house, little video there, navigating trees, stopped because we're stoning my shoe at some point as well. So yeah, generally just a good run, wasn't too concerned about pace or anything, heart rate stayed exactly where it wanted to be, so got 42 minutes in zone 2, done. Right, so now heading to Asda, get some stuff in for the gym, get stocked up there, get the fridge stocked up for the rest of the week. I like to do that. And then we're heading to the gym and we're going to get into something, maybe do something outside given the weather, but I can't get out my head about those damn trees down there. Alright, so maybe we'll look out the chainsaw. Maybe. Anyway, off to Asda, up to the gym, maybe catch up with you this afternoon. If not, it is class at 6 o'clock. There's plyometric stuff in there which I'm looking forward to. I love that type of training. And then we've got a really high intensity metcon, similar to what we did last week if you're watching week 2 here, where we did the burpee box jump overs into the run with a decent rest, so high effort run after the heart rate spike. Similar here now, but it's burpee broad jumps and it's rowing, but similar stimulus, so good for the old Gauntlet training. Surprising. Wonder how that ended up in the programme. Hey. Still miss it a little bit.
Lot 303.
Alright, home time, and yes, that is the sun at 7:25. It's lovely. So, just got done with class. Review. So, obviously I ran this morning. Now, you might notice a stark contrast in the energy levels from this morning when I finished that run. Buzzing, excited to be alive, big day ahead and all that, compared to now, right? So, the class workout was some plyometric stuff, so some jumps, some depth jumps, some jumps for distance, some single leg hops, and then that Metcon I spoke about, which was similar to the one I did last week, where burpee broad jumps, 15 burpee broad jumps into a 500 metre row. I went for the bike tonight, which is 1200 metres, so 4 rounds of that with rest. Anyway, done it, no problem, hit the stimulus, got the heart rate in the right place, but just didn't feel good. And I think, so when I finished the run, I went to the gym and basically never stopped. I stopped for something to eat at some point, but I went straight into cutting some new wall ball targets, drilling them into the concrete, fixed them up there, painted the wall, cleaned the floor, just never stopped. Then I was coaching 4 to 5, 5 to 6. So by the time I got done coaching, I know it's not a huge indicator, but it is kind of general levels, but I was at 19,000 steps. Right, now obviously 9 or 10,000 of those were the run this morning, which is fine. But just in terms of general activity, I was just like, could totally just go home. But I didn't want my day to just be zone 2. I want to get a little bit of that intensity in, especially because we just had a strength session yesterday. So I kind of dragged myself through it, to be honest, but got the job done, but didn't feel great. I just don't think I'm built for 2-a-days. I don't know how the guys do it in Encore with the morning session and the evening session. I think I've got one good session in me a day. Now, if I was to do, say, that class, then go out and do the zone 2, I'd be totally fine. My day would be fine, I'd still be able to do everything else near the end, but having a split day for me, it's never worked. I've tried it a few times, I've tried to do some stuff. Sometimes I can do the condition in the morning, depends, it just generally doesn't work, because I've got such a, I think it's because I'm so active as well. I think different if I was doing a session in the morning and then going sitting at the computer all day and then doing something else, but yeah, 2-a-days ain't the one, and especially after last week. I thought last week I nailed the volume and intensity with that single session per day, and some of them weren't much volume at all, and the ones that were decent volume, the right amount of intensity. And like I said, I got to the end of the week and felt great, felt as though I had more in the tank, felt as though I smashed week 1, but coming home now, I'm like, I don't know if I've got a session in me tomorrow, which is not great. I want to be able to finish up the day and be like, right, ready to go for the next one. Anyway, Tuesday, ticked the box. Buzzing with the run, like, this morning, that was awesome. Just that session there, just kind of, just lacked a little bit of luster, I guess, but again, got the job done, and we move on. So yeah, that was it. Time, for home, food, and I think this is part of it as well. Because I finished coaching at 6 o'clock, I'm also coaching 6 AM. So a quick turnaround to now be home at 7:30, do in, shower, get something to eat about 9 o'clock, do bedtime with Jackson, the whole thing. And then, like I said, straight back in at 6 AM tomorrow, which is fine if I've not got a big session to try and get in. Anyway, see you on Wednesday. I'm out of here. Bye. Beautiful. Alright guys, it is indeed a new day, which is Thursday. So we did take a day off yesterday, Wednesday, just doing a bit of work down here. Like I said, well, last time you see me was Tuesday, but I think those Monday, Tuesday sessions hit a little bit harder than I anticipated. Then I was filling in my training journal, which I keep every day, and realised it's probably the first time I've barbell squatted in about 4 or 5 weeks, right? So hence why, even though the light loading on the front squats should have been okay, I think it hit a little bit harder. And then the double session, like I spoke about Tuesday, so took Wednesday off, recovered, feel good today. It's Thursday, the sun is out, we're about to get after today's session, which is a long one. So I was going to do it all indoors. It was supposed to be row, bike, run, but we're just going to mix up a little bit. So we're just going to hit the bike row, 15 minutes, bike, 15 minutes, and then we're going to go outside for a run, which was supposed to be a time. I'm just going to change it up for a 5k because there's a nice 5k loop around here. So yeah, we'll get into that. That's going to be our Thursday coaching this evening. So we'll get this done this afternoon, and then we'll see if there's anything else worth doing after that. Maybe a little bit of strength, maybe some pull-ups or something. But yeah, row, bike, run, 60 minutes. See you on the other side. That's our row done. Onto the bike, or 15 minutes. Managed to hold a 150 pace there in a row. Took about 6 minutes to get the heart rate where it needed to be, but once we got there it was alright. So a wee minute or two transition there just to set the monitor up. We'll get that heart rate back up to where we need to be, about 140. Alright, run done. A little bit windy to be fair, even though it looked great. So came off the bike, got exactly 8k done, set a little target to try and get that while still keeping the heart rate under 150, which is my zone 2. Had to ride the line though, was right on for the majority of it. A couple of little pushes on the top each minute, I like to add that in, maybe 10 seconds of worth of a push, and then settle back into the pace and try and monitor the heart rate just to see how much control I've actually got of the heart rate. Turns out quite a lot. So worked out 4k row, 8k bike and 5k run exactly. It finished just at the top of the road there, and it was like 24 minutes. So it paces like 4:50, something like that. So yeah, all in all, good session. A little bit different for this one as well is I took a gel after the bike. Apologies for the wind, by the way, if you can hear that. Took a gel, which I've honestly never done in training, ever. I think the only thing I've ever took a gel was actually during high rocks. Never kind of ate during workouts, but different strategies, trying different things. Lots of cardio in this training block, so felt okay though. Felt hydrated, didn't feel a dip in energy. It's only zone 2, so all in all, good session. Right, off for food, shower, coach, and that'll be our Thursday. Tomorrow, a little bit more functional stuff. Bye. I'll maybe catch up with you later tonight or tomorrow. Bye. Good morning, team. Another absolute cracker. Oh, it's Friday morning. We are down at the Shred Shed, aka my dad's garage gym. Right, so quick workout to get after, but lots of work to do today as well. Not coaching at the gym, therefore down here, hit a quick workout, then we're good to go and get on with the rest of the day. So with it being nice, it's a little bit windier than I thought. Same as yesterday, it looks like a summer's day, but it ain't quite. But we'll get in, I'll talk you through today's workout. Quite a tidy wee setup this is why it's handy. It's like 5 minutes down the road. We've got a rower, squat rack, ski, plates, barbells, all the gear. So yeah, super handy just to nip down here for an hour session, get it in. So today we have got some front squats. We're going to try and build on what we did on Monday. So we're going to hit 4 sets of 5, about 5 kilos maybe heavier than Monday's, keep the legs going. And then we've got some high intensity intervals, right? And what we're looking at is some walking lunges into a row, into burpees. So 3 movements, a triplet. We've been doing quite a lot of couplets in this same format, so we're now going to make it 3 movements with some rest in there. So 4 rounds, each of them for time. The goal is to really hit a high heart rate on the rower, so spike the heart rate, try and get up to about 170 on the rower, should be able to get that done. And then, and then into the 15 burpees. Not sure what style burpees we're going to do yet, maybe burpee to target on the pull-up bar, but we are going to lunge out here once we move the slide. So we're going to go lunge down and back, just as a little bit of a buy-in before we get on the rower, just tax the legs a little bit, nothing too heavy or too long. We'll probably just go down and back at the rower and then maybe burpee here. I did think maybe burpee broad jumps down here, but I think we might just do them in place, allow us to go a little bit faster, higher volume reps. So yeah, that's going to be our Friday workout. Should get that done in about 45 to 1 hour. So let's get started. Squats first, we'll get warmed up, we'll hit them, and then we'll get straight into the work. Squats done and feeling much better than Monday. So it's only an extra 5 kilos, but just feeling so much better. Like I said, forgetting that last Monday was the first time I squatted in a long ass time. So 4 sets done at 80. No lifters, no belt, nothing like that, but all feeling good. Legs are feeling stronger. It is only technically like 60%, so it should be pretty doable, but I've got to get that done. I'm going to set up for the workout now, so get a few lunges in and the rower and stuff set up, and then we'll be good to smash in. I'll catch you probably on the other side for a little debrief, maybe later on in the day, but yeah, let's get this done. Good morning. It is Saturday morning actually. So we just got wrapped up with Team WOD. It's now 11:30, so we sat and had coffee and all that afterwards. Time for me to get my training in now. So a little bit of an update on yesterday's workout. I think we finished the video just as I was dying towards the end. So yeah, all went to plan, generally 4 rounds. Dropped off a little bit in round 3, but brought it back in round 4. So it's a little bit different for me, this style of training. I'm kind of not experimenting with. I know it's effective, but different for me. So if that was a traditional workout where it was the 4 rounds for time, because it had the rower in it, what I would normally do is push hard on the lunge, pace the row, and then push hard on the burpee, right? Because I'm quite efficient on the rower, therefore I can pace quite well, while still holding a good pace. Not completely recovery, but not sending it on the rower, and then I could go hard on the burpees, right? That would get me each round faster. But what I'm trying to do in this block is be more aware and more specific with the heart rate, and then where the heart rate is in specific movements, particularly the ones that are a little bit more difficult. So what we were doing yesterday was, you maybe see in the video, maybe you didn't, is checking the heart rate all the time. So the goal on the rower was to get up into zone 5. So that's anywhere from 165 to 170. 170 was the number I was looking for, so I was trying to get there. Therefore, the pace was all under 140s. So I was 138, 139 on that 750 metres with the intention of getting there. That's not the most optimal strategy for doing each round as fast as you can, but what it was doing is getting us that heart rate spike, taking that into the burpees, and then working through that. And that's the performance gain we're looking for in that workout. And it was very clear. Round 1 and 2 were great. Round 3, the drop off in time by about 10-15 seconds was in the burpees. And the last round, again, able to bring it back. So yeah, just a little bit different rather than just traditional CrossFit where each one's for time. Now, is there a big difference in gains from that in terms of general work capacity? A little bit, but we're just training something a little bit different. So yeah, little insight into yesterday's session. After that, I sat and worked all day, had a very exciting phone call for a media project we're working on. Then I sat and did all the programming for the next 3 or 4 weeks in CrossFit and Encore, done all that, recorded some videos. So yeah, just a general work day. Ready for the weekend. So I've got a nice clear weekend. It's Jackson's birthday this weekend, so we're going doing some stuff for that. Hence why I need to get this workout done right now. So workout today is a little bit of that simulation style again, where we are just taking some of the movements from the event itself, putting them in a certain form, a certain order. They're not in order today like they were last week, but each one's a little bit specific. So we're trying to get about 30 to 35 minutes of continuous work. That's generally what we're looking for, but I'll talk you through it here just now. Flip around. So I'm going to start off on the ski. I'm going to try and get that in about a 2-minute pace, so not complete race pace, but this is kind of building the heart rate up. When I hit 16 metres worth of the sled, and that should be a decent spike in the heart rate there with the sled. The weight's slightly under race weight. Then into a run. This is where one of the first test of it, so we expect the highest heart rate here is coming off this with a spike, and then trying to get under that 430, hopefully get close to 420. Body weight lunges, we had the weighted lunges yesterday, but this is almost a little bit of mechanical recovery here. It can be lunge and bring the heart rate back down to get back in the row, so not those 130 paces from yesterday. I'm going to go 152. Burpee broad jumps, 16 metres, 500 run. Now this is an easy run, it's not the same as this run. Get this in, a little bit of sled pull, and then this is almost recovery on the bike. So again, it's not just here's a chunk of work. How fast can we blast through it? We've got specific targets in each section that are just kind of tying in to where we are, because it is just week 2 of the programme. Right, so 11:30, I'm going to get warmed up, get changed, ready to go, and then we get smashed right into this. I'll stick the camera on, maybe grab a couple of bits of it, but all familiar movements we've seen before. And then that is going to close out our week. So what we'll do is smash this workout, and at some point this afternoon, maybe tomorrow, we'll do a Sunday debrief, talk you through maybe the week, some stats of the week, kind of volume and stuff. But yeah, let's get it done. Let's get this Saturday workout done. that's going to be an end of week 2. We're back in the car, a little bit of a time warp. It is now Monday. Alright, so you've just seen Saturday's training there, which went pretty well. The actual simulation part of the workout was lacking a little bit. It wasn't as long as I'd hoped. It was a little bit of miscalculation. We just tidied it up for next week when we do a very similar next Saturday. Now I did throw in at the end there a little dose of intensity, so just to get the heart rate right up into that peak zone, and a little bit of the CrossFit in me, you know, just like a little bit of discomfort. So it was just some V-ups, some hard echo bikes, so 10 cals in 20 seconds into 15 unbroken wall balls, so just 2 rounds of that. But speaking of discomfort, almost immediately after finishing that, I started to get like, I call it discomfort, it wasn't pain, but almost as if like my upper back, my upper ribs started to like swell, as in like this pain was rising. I was like, what the hell is that? And like any responsible adult, of course, I use ChatGPT to diagnose what was happening. So I have had exercise-induced issues before with the lungs, pleurisy, all that, just a couple of times from going too hard. So it wasn't quite like that, but I knew it wasn't muscular. Like I tried to stretch it off, but the pain was rising. Anyway, according to ChatGPT, it's got a special name, but it was like where your upper ribs meet your spine, the joint becomes inflamed, something like that. Anyway, it's now Monday, by the way, and I feel fine. It's all good. So just thought it was quite funny. So yeah, finished up Saturday's session with that little bit of intensity, and then headed out to Edinburgh for the Alpine Coaster. So another cracking day. This whole week's been amazing, so it just helps everything, doesn't it? Went for the Alpine Coaster with Jackson, a couple of spins on that. It was alright, lasted 20 seconds, but it was a nice day out, went out there, did all that. Sunday did absolutely nothing, full recovery day on Sunday, and honestly just another decent week of training. Obviously missed a day in the middle, had to adjust course correction. All in all, solid week 2. Feeling ready now for week 3. I've also just edited week 1 of the video and posted it, which I was on the fence all week whether to actually do it. So as of right now, to all 136 people who have watched it, I appreciate you. Alright, we're not trying to be influencers or get thousands of subscribers and thousands of views or anything like that. It's just something that hopefully is entertainment for you guys who know me, maybe some of you don't, but just add some value, maybe give you an insight into training, into running the gym as a coach, trying to navigate life and training and stuff like that, and navigate class into something where you've got a short-term goal. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. And with that being said, make sure you do subscribe to the channel so you get a notification when this one goes up. So yeah, that's our week 2, heading into week 3. Hopefully the weather continues. We're going to ramp stuff up with some different style workouts. We've got a big week in the gym itself because running returns to class, which I'll be getting involved in. We've got 99 problems, which is always a highlight of the year. That's coming up next Wednesday. So yeah, we'll get into all that. But yeah, that's been our week 2 of 10, getting closer now to the Gauntlet. So if you do want to follow along, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. But that's going to be it for week 2, episode 2, whatever we call this. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.